Hi, my name is Arlette Wendy. I'm a co-resource manager here at the Textiles area of MakeIt Labs in Nashua. We have everything to do at Textiles. We have weaving, we have sewing, we have leatherworks, we have an embroidery machine, industrial sewing machine, as well as a dye sublimation printer. You can come and do all these things, and there's always someone to help. You know, you just let them know that you're having trouble and they will help. Wonderful community that is resourceful and experienced. So one of the weaving techniques that we use here is called a rigid heddle loom, and they have slots and holes, and so half the threads come up at one point, and so you put your thread through it, and then you use this to bring it down, and now it's the other half of the threads, and so it creates a pattern of what is called plain weave. And so you get this beautiful pattern from just going up and down with your with the rigid heddle. Weaving goes way back. They had to have cloth to wear, so they figured out that up and down of thread, and sometimes it was sinew, to make clothing. So they did what they worked with, and it's amazing to me that years ago, all our clothing was made, maybe not with this particular loom, but was made by hand. And yet today we don't even think of what we're wearing. They just, we just go to the store, buy clothes, no big deal. But it required a lot of work before. Now the machines do it all. But it's still a certain amount of satisfaction as you weave because you're building something. So you get to see a product, and that's always satisfying, I think. All right, this is a serger. This is used for stretchy fabrics. Probably most of you wear stretchy fabrics. So it stitches and cuts all in one pass. You finish, you have a nice finished edge, and it will stretch with the fabric, which is awesome. So in sewing stretchy fabrics, the serger is your friend. So now you have this very stretchy piece that is nicely finished, and you can really stretch it, which you could not do with regular sewing. Okay, so sometimes people think that the only weaving we do here is on the big machines because that's what they see. But we can do a lot of small weaving too. These are called weavets, and these were made on that little loom, which is really cool, and you could put them together and make a pocketbook or whatever. Then these looms we made here on the laser cutter and used them to make ornaments. And so we made little ornaments with those looms. This is a very old technique. These are called Japanese buttons. It's a Japanese way of making buttons, and they're woven. Get it out here. There we go. They're woven, and they're woven on things that are made with 3D printing. And I just find that a great, doing both at the same time, old and new together. Obviously, we do a lot of sewing, and we're always aware of safety when you sew. You don't want to be sewing your fingers, you want to be sewing fabric. So pay attention. We have a large selection of threads. So if you come in and you have your fabric and you know what you're going to make, check us out first, because we may have the right thread for you, and so you won't have to buy that. The only machine that is really dangerous is the Juki, which is an industrial machine. So you really need to look at the training that is offered online and make sure that you wear safety goggles when you work on the Juki. We have one large 40-inch 4-harness loom, a Leclerc. We have a aluminum loom, which is very unusual, which was made in the 1950s in Rhode Island. We have been donated a 4-harness floor loom that's 23 inches wide, so for smaller projects. Some of the resources we have here, we do have regular sewing machines. And if you want to learn how to sew, we're usually here, somebody's here between 2 and 4 on Saturday. Bring your project, we'll show you how to sew it. We also have, as I mentioned before, thread, and there is some fabric to, try something. And then we have books on sewing, on weaving, and any other fiber-related things. I'm usually here on Monday nights as well, because we have open weave. So if you've taken a weaving class or you know how to weave, come on down, bring your project, we'll all weave together.
Hi, this is Wendy McDougall. I'm a co-RM with Arlette in the textile room of the Nashua Makerspace. I specialize in hand sewing, Regency costuming, and fursuits. Basically, we started this, the room itself is quite new, so within the year, last year, and so we've tried to include all of the different textile crafts we can get in, and we're basically, someone will be an expert if somebody needs help. So you just have to arrange ahead of time. My idea was that each curtain would be a different craft, because we have so many windows, and it seems to work out okay. We have the cranes, which is actually a craft, not a textile, but we are adjacent to the art room at the maker space, so it sort of rolls in. A lot of textiles have to do with art, and a lot of art has to do with textiles. So we've started, we basically organize things here. We do a stitch and bitch once a month, and that's where people come and do crafts and do. It doesn't all have to be textile, but mainly textile crafts. And we do a fur day, a furry Tuesday, where people come to work on their fursuits. Okay, this is the embroidery machine. You can do 7 colors on it. It can do a large piece, a fairly large embroidery piece compared to this, like a home machine. As for projects, you can do hats and logos on polo shirts and things. I did the entire back of a tour jacket from my favorite K-pop group, and it took like 5 hours, but it did it beautifully in many colors. And I have seen people do patches to sew on to other things, so you just do the patch and then cut it out, and then you can put it somewhere else. Yeah, it's a very handy machine if you want to do embroidery. I embroider by hand a lot, but it's way faster on the machine. So yeah, so that's the embroidery machine. This is the leather working section. It's used by a lot of people who make belts and boots and vests and things, and also people who do historical reenactments need it to work on their projects. There's a clicker press over here, and that's to do large amounts of things that you want to make like a series of holes in, and in like uniform. And so this part is mainly for doing hand work on leather working. Alrighty, this is the dye sublimation machine. It's for imprinting ink into objects, t-shirts and mugs and all sorts of things, water bottles, that kind of stuff. So what you can do with it is you can do mugs and you can do shirts and all sorts of anything that can be, it's coated with a surface that will take the dye sublimation chemicals. So You print your picture here. The picture's on the screen here. You put it on the computer. Then you print it on what looks like regular paper, actually, but it's not. Cut out what it is that you want to print. And then you put it here with your t-shirt, which is the t-shirts, it's a very high temperature and for a very short time. And it will squeeze, basically it's squeezing the dye into the fabric or into the surface so that it will not come out ever. So Arlette and I are generally reachable if you need to learn how to do mending or hemming and chores like that. Just call us and we can arrange it. And it's also a nice space to just hang out. And some nights there are people here you can hang out with, which is fun. So yeah, it's just come by and check it out. Sometimes we have cookies, so a plus.